Welcome to my channel. Study English.
The Talking Shoe. The cobbler's workshop was dark and dusty, filled with shelves full of rows of shoes. Although it was a demanding profession, it was the only thing that the cobbler had ever known. He spent his days working on a single pair of boots, painstakingly stitching each individual sole together to create the perfect fit. Despite his efforts, the cobbler's shop was never profitable. The only clientele he had were the people who walked in off the street, hoping for a pair of sturdy boots to till the fields with. He would give them for free, hoping to make a few coins in trade, but that wasn't enough to keep him going. One day, as he was sitting in his workshop, practicing his craft, the cobbler heard a beautiful song. It was like nothing he had ever heard before. It was so beautiful, he couldn't help but smile. He found himself swaying to the rhythm, the melody tugging at his heartstrings. Without fully realizing what was happening, the cobbler began to hum along with the song. Suddenly, he felt a strange sensation in his feet. It felt like the soles of his boots were vibrating. He looked down and saw that his feet were tingling, as if they were alive. As he continued to sing, the cobbler felt a sudden burst of energy in his legs. He was running around his workshop, his feet tapping to the beat of the song. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew that he had to keep singing. He stumbled over to his shelf and pulled out a pair of old boots. They were ragged and tattered, but they glowed with a strange, ethereal light. The cobbler found himself singing louder, and the shoes began to move around, forming new melodies. Suddenly, the boots began to sing in unison. They sang all sorts of crazy tunes, shaking and rumbling in perfect harmony. The cobbler was amazed and terrified. He had never felt so alive. But as the night wore on, something unexpected happened. As soon as the sun began to rise, the singing shoes vanished. The cobbler stumbled back to his workshop, shocked and disoriented. He found himself alone, with no sign of the magical dancing shoes. For the next few days, the cobbler was thrown into an overdrive. The shops were constantly busy, and he found that he was hired to sing at various events and celebrations. He had no idea how it was happening, but he found himself taking to the stage like a fish to water. The more he sang, the more he felt a connection to the shoes. He felt like he could control them, like he was the one who was singing through them. He started to incorporate more complex melodies, creating new songs with each step he took. As the weeks went by, the cobbler became an overnight sensation. He was invited to perform at lavish parties and events, drawing in crowds of nobles and wealthy owners. He realized that he had found a way to make a living, something that he had never experienced in his life. The singing shoes had truly changed his life. They had given him a platform to sing his heart out, something that he never thought he would be able to do. He felt grateful to have them, but he also knew that he couldn't control them. One day, as he was practicing in his workshop, he felt a sudden burst of energy in his feet. He felt like the soles of his boots were vibrating again. As he started to hum along with the song, he felt a strange sensation in his legs. He ran around his workshop, just like he had done with the shoes. But this time, there was something different. The singing shoes began to sing in unison, and the cobbler felt a surge of energy, as if he were running on air. The shoes danced around him, forming new melodies that he couldn't believe. Suddenly, everything went black. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in the hospital bed. The doctor told him that he had suffered a stroke, that he had lost control of his voice and legs. But the cobbler knew that something different had happened. He tried to explain it to the doctor, but the doctor didn't believe him. But the cobbler knew that he had been given a gift, one that he would never forget. He had found his voice, something that he never thought he would ever have. As he lay in bed, the cobbler knew that the singing shoes were with him in spirit. He knew that they were still dancing around him, still singing through him. They had given him the opportunity to sing his heart out, to create new melodies and share them with the world. And he was grateful for that. Please subscribe to my channel. Study English for more videos. Thank you.